my smoothie friends. Hope you're all having a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Today, since we are getting close to the Valentine's Day holiday, I thought, well, maybe they would like to drink a beautiful pink smoothie on Valentine's Day, or perhaps serve your love a beautiful smoothie, or your kids. So today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to give you a pink smoothie. It's actually very simple. Again, any of my smoothies, make your own. Add what you like as far as protein, the milk you use, well, if you change the fruit, then you're changing the whole smoothie. But, you know, I'm going to give you some other options today, just some smoothie throw-ins, just to give you an idea. So, you will first need 1 cup of vanilla unsweetened almond milk. I use the Silk brand. I can't repeat this enough. It's because it has no carrageenan in it. Now, they did just come out with a Silk brand of pure coconut. It has carrageenan in it. I don't know why they did that. It has carrageenan in it. So you can't buy their coconut unless you don't care about that. Okay, so the next thing you're going to need is some raw coconut water. I use the raw coconut water that's refrigerated. I know this will be hard to find, so you can use the carton ones of your choice, or you don't have to use it at all. Just add an extra ½ cup of the vanilla almond milk. You're going to add a ½ cup of the coconut, and I am going to measure this because I am trying to really watch my calorie intake here. So I am adding that. We are going to need the seeds from 1 vanilla bean. You do not have to use the seeds. You can, in fact, use 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, or you can use the pure vanilla bean paste. Now, this one does have sugar in it, so if you need to watch your sugar content, do away with the paste and just go with your vanilla extract. The next thing I'm going to add to my smoothie, because I like the cocoa bean extract, I use this because I gave up chocolate because I am an addict. I cannot stop at 1 piece, so I can't have it. So I use this in my smoothies in the morning to give me the benefits of dark chocolate without all of the calories. Now here's where you can add something different. If you like your smoothies a little sweeter, you can use the vanilla stevia. You can also add some coconut extract. If you don't like coconut, of course you're not going to add that. Okay, our next thing is my usual suspects, and that is I add in just about a ½ teaspoon of coconut oil. I can't tell you, I know how people are so afraid of saturated fats, but this is a plant saturated fat. This is not an animal saturated fat, and it's also a medium chain fatty acid, so it doesn't even have time to go to your liver and store as fat. You really should read up on it. Of course, if you have major heart problems, you want to talk to your doctor. You don't want to listen to crazy Miss Tammy. Okay, I'm just going to get the rest of the seeds out of my little vanilla bean here because I don't like to waste any of them. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to need is my protein powder. Now, I use Terraway grass-fed organic whey protein. It has 21 grams of protein per serving. You can use, and it's also gluten-free. You can use whatever protein powder you like. If you don't like whey and you want to use some of the raw ones, you want to use the rice, you go right ahead. Find a protein powder that tastes good, or it will ruin your whole smoothie. So a serving of this is 2 scoops, so I'm going to add 2 scoops into this. Okay, again, your choice of what protein powder. Now, if you don't really want to do the protein powder, you can, in fact, use Greek yogurt, because Greek yogurt per serving, per cup, has 23 grams of protein. So it does have 9 grams of sugar, where this only has 3 grams of sugar. So just, you know, if I would tell you one thing that you can do for yourself is to read labels. Educate yourself to trigger words that are bad for you. Look for partially hydrogenated oils. That is a trans fat. Even if it says 0 trans fat, if it somewhere says over here partially hydrogenated, by law they are allowed to put so much in before they have to list it on an ingredient list. Read the sugar contents. Know that a serving size is 130 calories. So if you use 2 cups of this, that's 260 calories and double all of this, okay? So you can use Greek yogurt as your form of protein. It is going to add a little bit of tart sourness to the smoothie, so you will have to add some stevia. Okay, the next step, I'm going to add 1 cup of organic strawberries, and it is very important. This is one of the dirty dozen, okay, as far as fruits. Strawberries that you buy that are not organic are sprayed so much with pesticides, and they're not even worth eating, because strawberries are very good for you. They're very good for your skin, but if they're not organic, you're eating a bunch of pesticides. So try to buy your strawberries organic. Now this is a small bag. If you go to Costco's, BJ's, sometimes they have the large bags in organic, but always buy organic strawberries. 1 cup of strawberries. Now, do you remember about a year ago, I showed you all in a video how to whack a pomegranate, how to get the seeds out of a pomegranate? Pomegranates come in season right around November, so it's a good time to get them. Now, my store is still carrying them. They're getting smaller and smaller. I like the big ones. But anyway, if you want, I'll link that video below so you'll see how to get the seeds out of here with hardly any effort. And I freeze them, and I have pomegranates all the time. So I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of the pomegranate seeds into my smoothie. Okay, and I think that, oh, yes, I think that is it for right now. Yes, okay. So we're going to put our lid on, our blender, and I'm just going to loosen the top up, but I'm not going to take it off, and there's a reason I'm doing that, you'll see. And I'm going to go ahead and start it. But when I start it, now my chia seeds are dry, so they will, if I were to put them in before, they would start to absorb and thicken my smoothie too much for my taste. I don't like really thick pudding-like smoothies. I like my smoothie to be creamy, medium thickness, liquidy, but creamy, like a milkshake that has melted down a little bit. That's the way I like my smoothies. So I'm going to add my chia as the machine is running so that it's not, my chia isn't in there already soaking up and bulking up and thickening, okay? So I'm going to start it. Turn it on, crazy Miss Tammy. Okay? We're all done blending. It's a pretty pinky color. It's not too red. Okay, now I'll pour this so you can see the consistency I like. That's why I don't put the chia seeds in right away. All right, let's give it a taste. Now I will say that once this smoothie starts to settle, there are tiny little pomegranate seeds that will end up in the bottom of the glass. I don't usually drink them because they get like stuck in my throat for the rest of the day. So if you really have a problem with things like that, you might want to slow down when you get to the end of the glass. Anyway, let's give it a try. It's really good. The vanilla and the strawberry and the pomegranate just play well together. Very good, peeps. Very, very good. Okay, so I just wanted to show you something. Many people ask me if I can just show them some other add-ins. I do make a lot of smoothies during the week where I add a lot of these things in. So I thought I would just show you some of the things that you can add into your smoothies. Of course, we have cacao seeds, cacao nibs. And this is a great antioxidant. It is a rare form, it's not a rare, it's a raw form of chocolate. So all the benefits of chocolate you get from raw cacao. And I add about a tablespoon into a smoothie. Right now I'm not adding it in because, to be honest with you, I'm having a little bit of problem with my reflux. So I have to tone some things down until it calms down. Also, one thing that's really nice about cacao is it's a source of potassium. And potassium is very good. Bananas have potassium. And I think this one here has like an ORAC value of 8,400 per serving. So really a great thing for you to add into your smoothies. The flavoring, it really doesn't put your smoothie doesn't turn into a chocolate bar, okay? All right. Another thing, and I highly recommend this if you're having cholesterol issues and problems and your doctor has told you to consume more oatmeal for breakfast, I buy the gluten-free, and this is the Bob's Red Mill, and it's just old-fashioned oats, and I will put a 1/2 cup of oats I do mostly the oats in Louis smoothies because he needs them, I don't. So we would have a half a cup of the oats in your smoothie, and if you have a very good blender, you only have to go one time around. If you have a so-so blender, you might want to pour your liquid in and then put the oatmeal in just to give it an extra grind and then continue on with your smoothie. So oatmeal is another great thing. Then we have hulled hemp seeds, which are a great form of omega-3s and 6. It's essential fatty acids, and it's also a good protein source. It has 5 grams of protein per 2 tablespoons. So this is very good for, you know, if you're a vegetarian, you don't eat a lot of meat and stuff, and you want to get your protein in another way. You can also add this into yogurt, everything. I don't really think that this has much of a flavor. Now, I will say to you, I loathe, absolutely loathe hemp protein powder. But the seeds are not the same for me, okay? I'm going to take a swig. And of course, last but not least, another thing you can add to your smoothies is flaxseed. Now, flaxseed, if you have a really good blender like a Blendtec or a Vitamix. Now, I also heard that the Ninja is pretty powerful. So if you have a blender that is really powerful, I'm talking a blender that you can make peanut butter with. I mean, throw nuts in there, blend it around, and you got peanut butter. Then you don't have to grind your flaxseed because the blender will do it for you. But if you do not, and you know if you don't, grind your flaxseed fresh in a coffee grinder that you use only for this, designated for this. Grind it fresh because this goes bad. And you also, just to eat the seeds whole, your body does not absorb the nutrients because it can't get through the hull. So you have to grind it, okay? So there are some extra add-ins for you, and I will mention this. Now, I mentioned I have reflux, and I don't necessarily like to take more and more and more medication for stuff like that. Because reflux medicine is, you know, it's hard for your body, it's hard on calcium and bones, okay? So I did a lot of research and I found that freeze-dried black raspberry powder, because if you have reflux, one of your main concerns is Barrett's esophagus. So they use this in preventing or healing Barrett's esophagus. So I just take it as a precaution and preventative. And it has wonderful flavor. So you can also add something like this and get the benefits. If you have reflux or Barrett's esophagus, I would suggest that you really research black raspberry powder, okay? And I order from Barry's Products. I find it to be the best company out there, okay? Expensive, but again, you're worth it. All right, peeps, here's to your health. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you all have a great day. Oh, and by the way, I just want everybody to know, I do know that my clothes are inside out. When I work out, and I just got done working out, I cannot stand labels and seams on my sweaty body. So I turn my shirts inside out. That's a little tip for you. Because, you know, under your arms, especially, they're sensitive. And, you know, when you're really working out and that's rubbing, I would get all irritated and raw from the seams on my clothes. So I turn them inside out. I don't have that problem. Okay? Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe. We're anti-aging here with smoothies. And we got some masks. We got beauty. We got everything going for you here. And be happy, be healthy, be beautiful, and most of all, peeps, be lovable. Be lovable. I love you all. Bisous, my friends. Bisous.